everybody. Welcome to week 5. I have some information to go through with you for this week. I thought a little video might be nice instead of just instructions. So when you clicked on your weekly overview for week 5, you should have had a link to the Google Doc that has the explanation in text for this week, and then also the link to this video that you obviously got to because here you are watching it. Okay, so I want to just show you a couple things. First of all, it's just your regular schedule with your chapter and this PowerPoint that you can go over to review the information. There are a ton of resources this week. Look at all of these things you can spend some time on if you would like. I know you'll have like tons of extra time, right? Okay. Goal setting 2 is this week. So I unlocked goal setting number 1 that you did way back up at the top module. So you can go back and see what goals you had set for yourself, and then you can reply through goal setting 2 about your progress. This is not required. This is extra credit, 5 points. But I love it because it helps me see where you are, each of you, individually. So if you can get to that, that would be fantastic. Okay, this week's discussion is right here. It's about positive discipline. Really, it's about direct versus indirect guidance, which are both ways to have positive discipline. So I wanted to point out a couple things. First of all, you're going to be using table 5.1, right? See that right here? And then also figure 5.1 in your text. So they're on page 140. Here is the table, which is on page 140. And then page 120 is the figure 5.1. It's kind of confusing because they're both called 5.1, okay? So this one talks about things that are direct, less direct, more indirect, and then this other one is about just kind of the strategies. All of these strategies, okay? So then why do we do this? That's why I have given you a purpose on your screen here. Knowing about and being able to use lots of different strategies will help you meet the needs of lots of different children, make you more effective in your current job, and give you lots of strategies to draw from in the future. Okay, but why write all this out? I know it, right? So the skill for this one is just practice. Knowing how to say what you know is good practice. So you can use it in interviews, you can use it when you're helping colleagues or new people at your place of employment. The knowledge we're going to gain through this is about our learning outcome number 3 and learning outcome number 7 and learning outcome number 2. Describe positive guidance techniques, develop ways to respond to children, and then this compare and contrast right here. So that is what I want to talk about. What is compare and contrast, and how to put that in your discussion, okay? So you're going to choose one direct strategy, one indirect strategy, one direct, one indirect. Did I say that right? Share an example of each and when you've used it with children. And then I'm asking you to compare and contrast direct versus indirect guidance strategies. So on your Google Doc this week, let me see if I can swipe this over. Oh, I can. Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Okay, so on your Google Doc, you see this Venn diagram that I just left blank. It's because I thought I'll just give you the instructions on the video in person here. Okay, so when we compare and contrast, sometimes it's helpful to draw a little diagram to get our thoughts straight. You're not going to be able to put a diagram in your discussion board, but you could put one in your notes and then write about it. So if I were to put direct guidance over here and indirect guidance on this side, I would put all the things that direct guidance have to themselves. How are they different from indirect guidance? And then over here I would write direct guidance, indirect, and all the things that are specific to indirect. That makes sense? Let me see if I can type inside there. I probably can't. Insert. Because this is a Google Doc and not a Word doc, I'm not going to be able to just get that typed right in there like I want to. Okay, so anyways, one circle is direct guidance, one circle is indirect guidance. Where they overlap is what they have in common. So those are our comparisons. These things are what they have in common. And these are our contrasts. So when we say compare and contrast, we have things that are specific just to indirect guidance over here, just direct guidance over here. Those are our contrasting, differing things. Where they overlap, those are our comparisons, and those are where they are similar. So in your discussion board, I just want you to be able to explain to me how they're the same and how they're different. The Venn diagram is just a learning strategy for you to use if you need to. Okay, now, put that back over here. Okay, and then you only need to use direct quotes if you only need to cite your sources if you use a direct quote. There's no reason, we've talked about this in class, those of you that have me in an in-person class, we've decided to not cite our textbook as just a generic citation because we all know that we're using it for our information that's in like our brain that we're putting in our own words. If you use a direct quote from the text, you must cite, you must put it in quotation marks, cite it correctly, and then put citations used at the bottom of your discussion. Again, that's only if you use direct quotes. Okay, so that's our discussion this week. Now I'm going to go back to our module. Week 5. Now our assignment this week is about iMessages. I want to just talk a little bit about the 4 things that have to be included in an iMessage. Okay, so this assignment tells you why we're doing it, what skills you're going to use, how it is going to build your knowledge from the course, and then here's your instructions under task. Criteria for success tells you how to get a grade. Okay, so but what I want to talk about right now is the specific things that you have to include in an iMessage. It should include how you're feeling. I feel frustrated when you interrupt me on the phone. So see, like if that's my feeling and that's the behavior that the child is doing. I feel frustrated when you interrupt me when I'm talking on the phone. And then if there was a consequence, you would list it next. And there should always be some sort of consequence. I don't mean consequence as in punishment for the kid. It's a consequence of because of the behavior, this is what's happening. So I feel frustrated when you interrupt me when I'm talking on the phone because then I can't hear the person who has called me. Then we would suggest an alternative behavior. So this would be what we would prefer the child do. Like, it would be so much nicer if you would wait until I got off the phone and then I promise to help you next. So if you put all that together, your I statement all together is going to say, I feel frustrated when you interrupt me when I'm on the phone because then I can't hear the person who's called me. It would be so much better if you would wait until I get off the phone and then I promise you can be the next person I speak to. All right, so all 4 of those pieces have to fit inside each I statement. So your task is to go through these scenarios right here that could be happening in your world and then put each one into an I statement. So you'll have these 10 sentences written out with these 4 parts in each sentence. Okay, that's explained again here, but I just wanted to go over these I statement components. Those are the 4 components. Okay, then the only other little reminder for this week is your classroom observation and drawing that you started last week. It's due this week. Some of you have probably already submitted that, but it is not due until Sunday the 20, let me look at my calendar, I think it's like the 27th. So whenever week 5 work is due, that was actually introduced in week 4, but you're turning it in for week 5. Okay, so I won't be grading any of those classroom observations until the assignment closes. You guys have probably noticed that with all of my assignments. I'm not grading anything until the assignment closes, and then I start releasing your scores and grading the papers to you so that there's not some of you out there with incomplete work that hasn't been graded. Okay. Hope that all makes sense. I think I've covered everything for this week. I am actually at a conference this week, so I will be on campus Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm at a conference over in Linwood. So if you need to reach me, you're going to have to do email, and then it'll be evenings before I can get back to you because I'll be in those meetings. So I'll try to check my emails each evening, even though I am out of town. Okay, everybody, I hope you have a great week. When we get through this one, we're halfway there. You're doing it. Also, thank you to all of you coming to our study groups. Those are turning out to be really fun. I look forward to them. We'll have another one November 5th, I think is our next one. Okay, that's it. Have a good week.